Okay, there we go. Well, what's going on, Devin? How are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. That's good. Well, first
Yeah.
off, thank you for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate you inviting me to come and speak on your platform. So, thank you.
Well, thank you for taking the time out to come speak with me.
Absolutely. Look, you
You're
got me
the
a little
first.
nervous.
I got you nervous.
I don't know. I just feel like I get nervous when it's time to answer questions and stuff like that. I don't know why. Just
It's
nervous.
not a lot of questions. It's only just going to be pertaining to you.
Okay, got you.
I'm not like the mother interviewers and who does. And I'm not throwing shots because I don't want nobody. You
Right.
know
We
how this web
respect
series will
everybody.
go.
Right.
I'm not a part of it because I ain't a cast member, so I just have to work in it. So, but yeah.
I
So
understand.
this is gonna be a different type of interview and you're gonna find out. So
Okay.
why don't you tell me who you are? Who's Devin Bozeman? Did I
Those.
get that right? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Bowens. I'm
Yes,
sorry,
I'm
excuse
Devin
me.
Bowens.
Devin Bowens.
It's okay. But yes, I'm Devin Bowens. I'm 27 years old. I currently reside in Tampa, Florida. Of course, you can catch me every Thursday on Chasing Orlando. But outside of that crazy and fun show, I'm a family person, a businessman. I'm a new business owner, actually. Well, most people would say, like, with me being in my almost what year and a half that I've been in real estate that people would say you're not really a baby, but real estate is a different beast. Like so, you grow kind of with the industry. But for the most part, like I said, I'm a family individual. I have my partner Darius and our daughter Nia. So most of the time, if I'm not working, I'm spending time with my family or spending time with my friends. So
Okay, that's great. Okay, so what was it like growing up, like, childhood family? Because it seems like from when I looked in your profile, you're somewhat family oriented, but I can tell you're someone that keeps that private.
mhm.
And just maybe
Well,
throw out a Christmas picture or two just to say.
yeah. Well, for the most part, like growing up for me was, I would say, fairly simple. Like I've always been surrounded by love. I have an incredible family that supports me, loves me. Like anything that I tell them that I want to do, they're 10 toes behind me, you know? So I wouldn't say that I had a rough upbringing or anything to that nature. I come from a pretty large family, actually. My mother was the 10th child and she's the baby. So just
Mm,
imagine how many cousins, aunties, uncles, you know what I'm saying? Like I have, so we have a large family. But speaking to the part of being private, I've always been a private individual. Like, and it's kind of been weird filming this show and stuff like that because you have to open up, more of your life to people. But for the most part, like I enjoy like my family. That's like who I do what I do for, like I want to make sure that they know that the investments that they've invested within me are going to come back tenfold. So,
okay, I hear that. I'm definitely hear that. So, so you come from a large side of a family. That's great. So,
mhm.
what's your like ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking?
No, that's not a problem. So I'm black. You guys, why does everybody think that I'm mixed with something? My mom is black and my dad is black. Mhm.
I kind of thought that you was like black and like Native American.
Well, we have Indian in our family, like, and that's on my grandmother's side. But like I said, I feel like if your dad, you go by what your dad is. You know what I mean? Like if your dad's black, you're black. That may sound crazy, but it's just like both my parents are black. So yeah, I'm black.
Okay. So, I, a
Hmm.
lot of us were first introduced to you on a different show, and you were a friend of the person who was the main character. So, how did that come about?
So Lauren approached me, what was that, back in 2021 or something that we did that show, like coming right out of COVID, if I remember. But me and Lauren actually have been going through like, things within our friendship. And I'm assuming, I don't know, the full story on how her show came about. But she ended up approaching me after we had repatched some things. And she was like, I think this would be a great opportunity for them to see our friendship and things of that nature tied in with our, like her family life, because I know her family, like we've grown up pretty much kind of together. So I don't think that it was like, hey, come be on the show. It was just more so like you're around me, you're a part of my life, and I think that's how that happened.
Okay. So wait a minute. So y'all wasn't really like not speaking? Because I remember that one scene where she came in and then you walked out the door and then you went right back in and closed it and slammed it
We
and locked
really
it.
weren't speaking. Like it had been about almost 6 months that me and Lauren had like actually spoke to each other because it was just we love each other so deeply that when we went through that, that hurt not just me, but that hurt her as well. And I mean, I think it just took time apart for us to see where we were both wrong and how we can correct those wrongs.
All right. So now to get to the main part where it's all about Devin again. Chasing Orlando.
Mhm.
So like what was your like? Did you even have the thought of like doing I know you just spilled like a little bit about just Lauren, but this is about Devin Bozeman. About now you're going to be one of the main characters. So like, what was your thought process of like going on here? Like, what was your expectations? How did you feel of being broadcasted in front of basically the same audience, but
Yeah.
mainly about who Devin is?
To be honest, when I filled out the paperwork, because let me set the record straight, just because I was on the platform before doesn't mean that I didn't have to, audition or do anything. I'm so sorry. Look. But basically, I had to audition, as I said, filled out my paperwork. And honestly, I was like, mm, I don't really think that I'm serious about this, to be honest. And I just kind of prayed and I said, hey, God, if this opportunity is what you want for me, then I'll take it. So, through the audition process and things of that nature, when they reached back out and said, yeah, we'd like you to be a part of the first season of Chasing Orlando, of course, I was excited about it, but I was definitely nervous because, like I said, I'm not really so forthcoming off the bat. So coming around a group of new people, being in a new state, I literally did not know anybody, coming into this situation. It was definitely scary because it's just like I know that I have a personality where people sometimes can be like, "Ooh, you too much. Like, let me take a step back from you." So just getting to know new people kind of has been a challenge, but then at the same time, I value the relationships that I've built through this experience.
Okay. And just a reminder, you're from Birmingham, right?
hmm Well, actually,
Okay.
I'm from Mississippi. I just basically grew up in Birmingham. Like,
Ooh,
when
country,
I say grew
country.
up, like elementary school to high school. That's where I graduated from. So I
Also, you
was
know how to make like deep good. You know how to make a good dish, like anything fried, like catfish. Like,
yes, we love to fry some
oh
catfish.
yeah, I'm gonna have to come down there. Now I'm sold. Sold. Highest bidder. Mm-hmm.
But yes, we love to cook in the South, of course. Like, we do cook some good food. Not everybody can cook, but we know how to throw down in the South. Yeah.
Okay. You put a lot of seasoning on it.
Of course. If you don't put any seasoning in your food, I don't want to play. Like, I'm so serious. Do you season your food really well in New York?
I overly do it.
So when you say overly, what are your predominant seasonings that you use? This how I'll be able to tell if you can cook or not.
Well, here my mom does that for me, and I just add in the extra stuff like the black pepper and salt.
That
Maybe paprika if I'm in the mood.
that's getting very, very. I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. So just salt and pepper and paprika. That's
I
it.
don't just probably salt and then black
You ain't got
pepper.
no onion powder, no garlic powder, Creole
That's already
seasoning.
on there. My mom throws all that on
Okay.
there.
So you just put on. Okay, I get what you're saying. When you get your plate, it's just salt and pepper that you're putting on your food.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mostly just black pepper. I like black pepper more than
yeah, you
salt.
need to come to the South.
So so the first scene was your real estate, which we'll get into that towards the end because that's what I really want to get into.
Okay.
So you're real estate. So what made you want to go into the real estate world?
Honestly, financial freedom. Like, there's so much money to be made in real estate. And people, excuse me, like people think that real estate is just buying and selling a home. There are so many different avenues that you can get into. And I think the most beautiful thing about it is like when you come into it, it's just like you really don't know what it is that you want to do because, like I said, there's so much that you can do. So as you work with people, you get to understand different sides of the industry. That's when you find your lane. And like I said, financial freedom really was the reason that I got into it, because it's just like after working for corporate companies for so long, I just was burnt out, and it was just mainly like I don't want to continue to have to work a 9 to 5, know that these people really don't care about me or anything like that. You know what I mean? So taking control of my life, my time, I think that's really why I got into real estate, because I just felt like, hey, if I can do this by myself, then I can make as much money as I really want to.
Okay. Okay. Now put a pin in that. So we were introduced to you again,
Hmm.
selling a home, and it will look like a nice home, look like a mansion. I'm like,
Stop. It's an well. Let me ask you this: what do you consider a mansion? Because everybody keeps saying that it's a mansion. Like, what do you consider a mansion?
well, I'm not from the suburbs. I'm obviously come from the hood, so I feel like any big house. I know the difference between a house and a mansion. Like a mansion is like
How many bedrooms
two
would you say?
floor. A mansion to me is about 5 bedrooms,
Okay, it's crazy.
5 to 10 bedrooms.
In the Florida market, it's about 4 to 5 bedrooms, because it's just like I'm not even gonna lie. Like coming from Birmingham and coming here and seeing what we consider, like you said, a mansion, it's drastically different. Like it's drastically different. You can literally tell this is $1 million home and this is like a starter home. So I mean, I think it's different in everybody's perception on what a mansion is.
You can do apartment complexes too.
I'm thinking about it, but with realtors, we don't like show apartments or anything. But later on in our careers, mostly people who make a lot of money go and buy apartment complexes and do stuff like that. But I mean, like I said, there's so many avenues that you can get to the bag with real estate, that's something that I've considered, purchasing one and letting a property management company come in and manage it for me.
All right. So you ended up on a call with Lauren, and you guys have a conversation. You guys are catching up. So what made you wanted to bring Lauren into the picture?
That honestly, I don't care what anybody says, thinking that that was scripted or anything like that. The reason why they say that is because it's like Lauren had a camera there with her on her side. Literally, like I said, me and Lauren talk, but we don't talk every day. So I'm not gonna give it away in the sense of like out of respect, excuse me, to like the producers and editing and stuff like that. But Lauren is welcome wherever I am welcome. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my sister. So it's just like any opportunity that we're blessed with that we can capitalize off of, let's do it. So yeah. Anytime that you see me and Lauren is within reach, yeah, she'd have that opportunity. Hmm.
Okay. So the first group scene where everybody's together is the scene that Chef Pablo had. That was
Hmm.
his event, and it was the painting scene. I want to say.
Yeah, the puff
I
and
want to
paint.
say it was like a beer and sip type of thing, or like the sip and
No,
drink
sir,
type.
the puff and paint.
That's right, the puff and paint. The
Yeah.
puff and paint. So, what was your first opinion meeting the whole cast?
Um, the first time that I met everybody, like the energy was pretty natural. It's everybody's first time meeting each other. I wouldn't say that it was like nasty or anything until later, but it was nice getting to meet a new group of people. Like I said, being in a new space and not knowing anybody, of course, I'm like excited to meet them. So I already knew Max, before we got to the event. So I mean, like me and Max, I love Max. It's like my baby. So we were already cool. Meeting Rem and I was very cool. Like good energy. You know what I'm saying? Callie, when he came in a little later, we'll get to him. Still didn't have that kind of energy with me, so I can't really speak negatively about him because he didn't approach me with that energy. Marley, very sweet. Ayo, very sweet. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think that was all of us. But yeah, everybody was pretty cool meeting, for the first time outside of what you guys saw on the show.
What about how do you say his name? I don't want to put him in this category, but the stripper.
Y'all got to stop calling D Baby the stripper.
D Baby, that's
D
the
Baby
one who does the one who
is
does
the
the
stripper.
adult
And
entertainment.
we're gonna say a dancer. We're gonna give him his respect. He's a dancer.
I
And
forgot his name,
B
but
Baby actually wasn't there though. That's why I didn't speak to B Baby. He wasn't actually at that event.
okay,
We didn't meet him
okay,
until pajama party.
okay. So towards the first I call it now the initiation, where someone gets into an argument
Uh-huh.
in a group setting, and seeing that you luckily survived that one, how did you feel about that?
You mean how did I feel about what transpired at the first
Yup, all
meeting?
the above.
Um, honestly, I was just like, it didn't make any sense to me because we didn't know each other outside of maybe Callie and Ayo knowing each other and me and Max knowing each other. Nobody else knew each other. So it just didn't make any sense that we're arguing, that we're doing all of this. Like, I'm from this city, you from like, it just didn't make any sense to me because it's just like, we don't know each other. So what the hell is y'all talking about? But, like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but literally, I was just like kind of over it. That's why I got my bag and I walked out and I tried to see, Callie, can you come back in and talk to Max because you don't know him? You're doing a little much. Come back inside. But yeah, I can say honestly, after that first meeting on my way back home, I was just like, I quit. Like I literally text our production. I was like, I quit this shit. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be around this bullshit. And literally the next morning I woke up and I was just like, maybe that was the alcohol. Like you're good. So yeah, it was just a lot that first meetup.
Okay. I mean, I think you really had a problem with because you were like, "Cheers to all my pretty girls." I'm like, okay.
To the smalls. Okay.
That's why I kept smiling. I kept holding back because I knew when I started that click clack, I was like, "Oh, there you go."
Yeah. Click clack. But it was nice to meet them. And like I said, I can't wait for people to continue to see what's gonna evolve and happen on the show. But yeah, that was just a lot the first time meeting everybody.
Okay. So I don't know which avenue I want to go into.
I already know.
Let's do this. Let's talk about the conversation that you've had with your significant other, your fiance.
Uh-huh.
What's your fiance's name again?
His name is Darius.
Darius. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys are engaged, and you guys are planning to get engaged this
Look,
year, the end of this year.
planning to get married.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. Brain's fried.
So actually, we're exploring some dates. We know that we want to do it sometime, excuse me, next year. But things could change. They could change.
What month was you thinking?
What did we say? Like maybe next summer that we're thinking. But when I say that things could change, it's just like life is moving really fast for us. Having a child, like when you step into that role, whether it's a step parent, a parent, or whatever, like your schedule is the child's schedule. You know what I'm saying? So outside of work and things like that, we work around, what she has going on because she's our most important priority. So when I say that things could change, it could be in the summer, it could be in the fall, it could be in the winter, it could be in the spring, it could be whenever that we say that we want to do it. But we are just focusing on a couple things that we want to get completed first. For example, as crazy as people may think that is, we're focused on getting into our home. We're in the process of buying a home. Yes. So
Okay.
that's our first thing, that we want to make sure that we check that off first before we sit there and spend money on feeding people and flying people to a location
Oh,
to,
thank God.
like
Y'all
it's
got
not
it
about
structured because
it's just not about what everybody else wants. It's about what me and Darius want and the greater good of our child. So we don't really care about all that other
I haven't heard that in so long.
stuff. But
People be
yeah,
moving different.
we just we really are different. People already were what
Hey
did they
Jamar,
say?
hey
Brothers?
Al.
We're brothers. that everybody says. We look alike, which is kind of crazy because I mean, I don't really feel like I look like my partner. If people think that I look like my partner, one damn, I must have great taste because I know that I look great. So it's just like whatever. But yeah, we're just not on anybody else's terms. We're on our own.
So that mean you get do y'all get a discount on like the monthly rent or the mortgage because you do real estate?
No,
You gotta crack that code.
no, sir, we do not like at all. We still pay our bills. Gotta make sure that we keep these lights on and stuff like this. So no, we are not getting any discounts over here.
Shit, I would have found the way.
But no,
Okay. So you guys had a conversation about your mental health and stuff that you go through and you feel like you need a break.
yeah,
So you want to explore that just a little bit for me?
absolutely. Like, so just to give some context to that, I get a little overwhelmed, and I'm not even going to downplay it. I get more than just a little overwhelmed. I get very overwhelmed because I'm extremely too hard on myself. That's something that I'm working on. And going back in, like seeing that episode or whatever, like, of course, things happen on a different timeline than they're shown. So I don't really care about people thinking that that was a moment for me to clean up what had happened in the previous episode. Like, I don't really care about any of that because I know what my life is and what goes on in my life. So by me actually opening up and saying and just talking about me even facing depression, that's been something that I battled with since I was about 16 years old. And of course, I went
Mhm.
and got help and things like that. But then at the same time, it's just always been for me. I don't feel like, and I'm getting myself out of this, but I don't feel like people who are therapists truly sometimes care about what you got going on. Sometimes
Mhm.
they're just there
Been there.
they care, and that's why I have to correct myself because it's just like that's just my personal opinion. But at the same time, it's just like I've had to overcome that feeling of not wanting to go and sit and talk with people because once again, I'm a private person and I don't want to allow you in to know everything. But it's been a challenge. So by me addressing that, I just think that it's kind of like a weight off my shoulders because my parents, my close friends, like they know, my family knows. But then it's like when you're sharing that with the world, you're subject to so much criticism that could further drive you into a hole that it's just like, I'm proud of myself that I talked about it, but I didn't really enjoy the comments about, oh, he's just doing this because of this, that, and the other. That's not me. Anything that I do is not going to be just done for no reason. You know what I mean?
Girl, fuck them. Cause phew, don't even
Seriously.
worry about what they be saying in the comments. Cause they pick and choose what they want to see from y'all. Oh, y'all not showing y'all life, and then when y'all do, oh, he's just.
Yeah, it's a lot that we face. And as a cast, and I'll say this for my whole cast because I know that they feel that way. It's just like the viewers have to understand that you're getting a condensed version of our lives. You're not really getting to see us every day. You're not really getting to converse with us every day. So, of course, you're going to form your preconceived notions on who you think we are. But then at the end of the day, one thing that I will say about this group of people, we are some amazingly talented individuals. We do have real hearts about us. There's been some things that have went on, but I promise you this group really cares about each other regardless of how we try to make it seem like we care about each other. So I don't really care, like I told you, about what people say about me, but it still gets to you naturally because we're human beings. So I just ask that people kind of give us grace. We know what we sign up for, but then at the same time, that could potentially destroy our mental health. And that's why I think that it was important for me to speak about that because it's a true thing that we face. And especially in the Black community, it's just an unspoken thing that we need to talk more about.
Okay, let me ask you this. So, to leave off this topic, how are you now with that situation?
As far
How
as
do
my
you
mental
feel?
health.
Yes.
So like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm actively taking the steps that I need to take to make sure that I'm taken care of so that I can be the best version of myself for not just me, but my family, my friends, my child, my partner, So I am actively doing the work that I need to do to work on myself.
Okay, that's great. So I want to ask you something. So you just brought up something, and I'm glad because I was going to go into this. Being a cast member, and this is just something I want you to explain. This is actually, I think, the first time out of all cast members I've interviewed. Um, when you have the critiques or the trolls, you
Mhm,
have reviewers, we have, the people over at Chasing Reality, the Chasing panel, which is Scotty and Jamar's thing.
mhm.
We have TTB. Then we have myself, but I'm not necessarily as a reviewer as much. I just interview to try to just dive into the meat and potatoes. Um, as a cast member and as a human being,
Mhm.
how do you cope with negative comments versus critiques versus positive comments versus trolls and constant comments and then people DMing you like just, how do you deal with that?
Sometimes you know how you turn your phone off sometimes and you just like, I'm good. You really have to disconnect because it can be very overwhelming. Like you said, people are commenting, they're forming their opinions, but when you're confident in who you are, I'm not gonna say sit here and lie to you and say that I haven't responded to certain comments and things like that, but I'm human. So it's just like you have to disconnect because if you don't, you'll let that shit consume you to the point where you'll start believing what other people are saying to be true, and you know that that's not true. So I think for me, just speaking for me, I like to turn my damn phone off and go spend time with my family. Like I don't care about this shit at all. Like I'm so thankful to be on a platform that we are trying to change the narrative of what the LGBTQ community is and stuff like that. But then at the end of the day, it's just like I choose not to engage in certain things because I know what's the truth and what's false. So it is what it is,
Well, thank you for sharing that.
of course.
Thank you for sharing that. So now, going back, I want to talk about your infamous scene. And the infamous scene was the hotel get together. And it
Oh,
was
why
hosted
you
by
like
Callie.
you like that? I'm sorry.
Huh?
You clocked a little T right there. Lord have mercy.
Because I said get together.
No, keyword hotel.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. So a hotel in a room and all the cast members are there and you guys are mingling. Um Everybody was drinking. You guys played some games and then stuff started going left when people started feeling some type of way. You and Callie had a back and forth about a misunderstanding or miscommunication. And then you and Remy got in
Remini.
Remini.
Uh-huh.
Remini.
Remini.
Remy got it. Gemini. Like Gemini. Okay, so
Remini.
Gemini.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And you guys are going back and forth, and you called his partner a colonizer. And then he throws a towel in your face. And when he did, you were like, now watching the scene, I'm just like, if he don't jump over, I was just thought you were just gonna just. And I'm like, when I saw the scene play out as a viewer, and it's just like, okay, he's holding himself back, but
Mhm.
he's better than me. He's trying not to crash out, and then eventually you end up crashing out. He starts sleeping on the side, which I don't know why he set himself up for that. Then he walks out the door. Before that, and you're yelling at him, and your voice got light. I'm like, wow. And then he comes back and he starts laying on his side, and you flip the table on him.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking it's gonna go down. And then you obviously were involved in that. So, like, we know what happened, but from your point of view, to people who don't know, like, how did it go from happy to everybody needs to die?
Who said everybody needed that?
Nobody said that.
Oh,
That's just my
no, I'm just
interpretation.
fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with
So everybody crashing out.
And I'm gonna respect people that were there. Everybody was not crashing out. There, I will speak for myself again and say that I can take accountability for, the things that happened that evening. Energies were just flaring, Of course, alcohol plays a role in things, but I'm not gonna allow that to be an excuse. Um, really, now it's like I'm putting myself back there. When Rem and I came back, she had a performance and she came back, you know, the energy was just a little different, from where she was first there. And no disrespect to anybody, it was just, where's all that coming from? Because like, I'm not gonna say that you didn't have a booking because of the time that it took you to get, like, I don't care about all of it. I just want to know why the energy like shifted when you came back. You weren't on that energy to begin with. So why are you coming back like that? So okay, well, fast forward to the statement about go home to your husband. I will go home to your colonizer. That's not anything that I'm proud of saying. Like, I'm so serious from the bottom of my heart. I am not proud that I said that. And like I said, I'm not going to allow alcohol to be the whatever, like I'm not going to allow that. But when I said that, I truly don't even think that I knew what I had said, because when she repeated it back to me and then I repeated it back to her, I was thinking in my mind, like, Devin, do you even know like the extent of what you're saying to her right now? And I'm not gonna do that because his name is Tyreek. We're gonna respect Ty's pronouns. So speaking to Ty in that moment, I don't really think that I had the like conscious to even know what the fuck I was saying. And that's why I said it's not an excuse. It's just like now that I'm seeing it played back on screen and stuff like that, it's just like, did you really say that? Like, do you know what that implies? Do you know what that means? So it was kind of like a, ooh, even for me, you know what I'm saying? And the towel just sent it into overdrive because, as you said, you saw where I kind of sat there for a second and then I jumped up. It was like I was trying to process everything that had just happened because I love Rem and I to this day. Like, we're not giving anything away, but me and Rem and I fuck with each other. Okay, we cool. And it's just like, looking back at that, I do see how it could have been a miscommunication, but the way that it was edited made it seem like, you was coming for people, like that energy was like that at people, and we know what happened there, and it's just like it didn't have to go as far as how many houses have you sold. Like, where's all that coming from? Because I know what I said, and I know people want to know what I said. Like, we'll address that later, but I just feel like that didn't need to happen. Um, I apologized for my comments, both to her boyfriend and to her. And I just feel like that's not something that I'm going to continue to harp on. You know what I mean? Like, we're adults. We know which roles we played in the situation. If I can take accountability for my actions, I don't expect you to, feel the same way that I feel or do the same. But it's just like, let's be adults about this. Let's not try to spin this narrative that Devin is just this evil, nasty, foul, racist, ignorant person, when, no shade to anybody on my cast. Does anybody have a degree? Does anybody, have some of the accolades that I have? And that's not a slap in their face, but it's just like, stop trying to play me like I'm somebody that hasn't shown y'all genuine love. So that whole situation, I hate that it happened. I've apologized for it happening. And I just want to move on from it. But I know that it's gonna linger because I'm on a platform that, you know, shit just sticks around.
Okay. Okay. Well, so moving forward into a season without giving anything away,
Hmm.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think the season's going to progress towards the viewers?
8.5. Missed opportunities. Shout out to Chasing Production. Shout out to Andario. Shout out to Jamar, Damon, Zach. No disrespect to any of them. They did a phenomenal job in the way that they have portrayed this series. But there's just missed opportunities for more so of the viewer's sake. And that's coming from somebody who's done it before. Hate to do that or say it like that, you know what I mean? But it's just like there's room for
No,
growth.
no, that's your opinion, and it's only the
Right.
first season. I mean,
And that's the
look,
thing. It's so much more that could have been like shown. But it's just like it's just our first season, you know?
it's like a tester season. You know, you don't want to just throw everything out there. And this the second season.
I
You
like
know,
the tester
it'd be
season.
nice.
I like
It's like, yeah, it's like it's a hit or miss. You know, but like,
Can I ask you this, if you don't mind?
hmm
How are you feeling about viewing everything so far as a viewer?
as a viewer, I'm liking it. I'm not the type to sit here and just complain about or pick apart what needs to be. I really just don't care. I feel like Chasing Reality has been a structured show. It
Mm-hmm.
is all up to the castmates at the end of the day, but I understand from a human point that it's more than 10 people. It's not like it's 4 or 5. And stuff happens. You guys have lives. Stuff gets shown, stuff doesn't get shown, stuff gets cut out, stuff gets this gets taken out to put this there to connect this to make this happen, to make this person think that it was done when it was dumb. Um People put on for cameras, obviously. You know, I get the whole game. It's a good season so far. I'm sitting and I'm tuned.
And we appreciate that. Like, seriously, it's been a lot of hard work on our end. Of course, being a new franchise on a really strong platform, you have a lot of pressure on you to, you know, perform. That doesn't mean showing up for the cameras, doing this, that, or the other. It's just like when you watch this platform as a viewer, it's kind of like, hey, I know what I need to do, but then at the same time, I'm not going to try to make myself look a fool. So, like, even with that table flip situation, that's why I say it's like having done this before, that was a very, very like eye-opening experience for me because it was just showing me, hey, Devin, you still have so much more growth that you need to accomplish. Like you're not exactly where you thought that you were. So I think that it's beneficial for us all to see ourselves on screen and see some of the things that we've done so that we can kind of like mature and correct that behavior because there are certain things that are entertaining and there are certain things that we know like you guys as a viewer are like what the fuck are you like what the fuck y'all talking about, you know? So it's just like it's a learning experience at the end of the day.
As a viewer, I really did not care if you flipped the table. I mean, it was self defense at the end of the day, even though you said what you said. It's both and it takes two to tangle. But, personally, I feel like when you throw something on somebody or when you put hands on somebody, that's grounds to
But let me tell you
hit
something,
him. But
something my parents have always told me. Every action doesn't deserve a response and I could have reacted way differently. Um, I do feel like what really set me off, and I'll tell you what set me off is just her, or excuse me, him laying across the chairs on the table. And I don't know if people heard me, but literally after that happened, I walked towards Ty and was like, I can talk to you like a person. You don't have to throw anything in my face. Like we're adults. And just for the doing all that with the hands, it just set me ablaze. And it was just like, that wasn't like a moment for the TV. Because if you see my castmates, they were like, bro, we didn't expect that from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't give that. You know, I'm like, hey boo, how you doing, boo? I like your outfit today, boo. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just naturally Devin. And it's just for me to have to react in that nature. I do not like that at all. But that's just like I said, that's letting me know, Dev, you still got some things that you need to work on. And that's okay. We're human beings.
I don't, as a viewer, I really don't care if y'all have like a moment because even though I, as a viewer watching it, it is you guys are on a platform where you have to be presentable. It's not
Mhm.
like this ain't Zeus Network, this ain't Now That's TV. Phew,
No.
let me tell you. So I understand, and this is a show, and this is, to be honest, y'all show is the only show that I tune in out of reality. I don't, besides MTV's The Challenge and Basketball Wives, y'all like
You.
top two in between those shows. All them other shows from Zeus and them come afterwards. But y'all are the only show that is making all of us viewers, besides maybe some show, that has hope in reality, in the reality game. Out of all reality shows, that's what I don't think y'all know. And I'm not kissing ass, and I really don't care if nobody
No.
said this is my opinion, because y'all got y'all shows is getting views. Like, people are talking about y'all. Like King of Reeds, who I
Mhm.
love watching on YouTube, has talked about y'all. Like, and he has a big platform. So it's like, people are watching y'all. So I get what you say when you're like, especially in the career that you're in, real estate, you have to be presentable. So say if you sell a house to somebody, and then somebody's child could scroll on, and you on the shade room or something, flipping it, like, ain't this the guy that just did it? And then people are like, oh, that's it. Oh yeah, because we're not gonna sit here and act like racism and colorism, all that don't exist, or just people thinking that they're better than people. And considering the fact that you are you, and us in this community is already at a disadvantage, so they're like, oh yeah, can you
But
call
you
a
know
different
what?
realtor? I get it. I
Let
understood
me
why
ask
you
you this.
didn't.
Did you get colorism from me when I made that statement? And I want you to be honest with me.
Colonizer.
No, yes, when I made that comment about him being a colonizer, did you get racist from me? Did you get he's a colorist? Like, and what I'm learning, and that's why I say, like, I really want to know how that made you feel, because it's just like what I'm learning is I may not have felt a way about it, but it affected somebody else. And I just don't, I'm not the type of person where I can just allow my words to make somebody feel a type of way and me not like try to correct it or address it. I don't try to kiss anybody's ass, pacify or anything, but I hold myself accountable. And I think that that's very important, because that's helping me grow as a person. So that's why I say, did you get racist or colorism from that statement? Because y'all hadn't seen Jose before. Well, you did actually. You saw Jose, I think, like the episode prior where they were at Savoy or something like that. I
I
think,
seen him. I seen a glimpse. I think his
but
boyfriend's
he's
white
not
or
a
something
white,
like
and
that.
I
Well,
want to shout out Jose too. Jose is not white, like so. That statement by me calling him a colonizer is kind of like, Devin. That don't even make sense because he's not he's not white. So it's just like, but I get where people are coming from.
to me, the I don't think you're a colorist or racist. I think you're just somebody just trying to hurt his feelings and be petty. The statement was a little racist, but it was very much ignorant.
Okay, and that's what I need to hear because it's teaching me. You know, everything that comes to your mind doesn't have to be said outwardly. So I appreciate you giving me that, because I need to hear that. It's not about self vindication or anything like that. It's just like, I don't think that I'm right in that situation already. So hearing it reinforced is letting me know, hey, Devin, you made a mistake. But I made the efforts to correct that mistake, and you'll see that later.
Yeah, I mean, there's been worse stuff said, and not to give you a pass at it, but there's been
No,
like far
I
worse
don't want to
shit.
pass.
There's been far worse shit that we've heard on this platform and other shows. So it's like, but yeah, I already know, what it is when it comes to y'all. Like, I've been watching y'all for about like 5, 6 years by now. Listen, even the table flip, how many fights have we seen? We got
So far
Rico.
on our season or overall?
Overall, it's been so many brawls
It's
with
been
other
worse.
people.
Like,
So
it's
it's
been
just
worse.
like, huh?
It's been worse. We've seen way worse than what Chasing Orlando has done. So I love them
Oh
girls.
yeah. So it's like,
I'm not gonna do that to.
but I'm saying, if anybody tries to like judge y'all, like even the one we about to see once I end this live, but it's
Yeah,
just like, we've seen niggas get they shit ran in. We've seen brawls literally happen, mostly, especially with one particular season that just ended. So it's like, Bro, don't even stress yourself. Like y'all know y'all be in the wrong, y'all look wrong, y'all check yourselves. I don't care to sit here. Now, if I review, that's a different story. But at the end of the day, y'all listen, my brain is not even fried if y'all have a hair pulling fight. Now that other network that I just named, the mother two, oh my shit's fried. Watching Chasing Reality recharges my brain. That's how bad reality TV has gotten. So
We appreciate that. And that's a true testament to our CEO, our producers, because like I said, they work really hard to make sure that nobody's shown in a fictitious light, but they're shown in the light that they need to be shown in. And that's like real respect to them because they know at the end of the day they have a job to do, just like we know at the end of the day we have a job to do. Everybody wants to know, do y'all get paid to do that? No, we don't get paid to do that. So we know what we're signing up for. We get the opportunities to show our business and bring more business in, So I'm not gonna downplay them or their talents or anything like that because I know what the fuck I signed up for.
hmm so the last thing I want to get into is the real estate.
Uh-huh.
The money. So real estate. So how many houses have you sold like
But
overall in your career? If you can remember.
I'm just
Zero?
what are y'all not understanding about Devin is just getting started. Why does everybody think that I am just this
Oh shit, you did say that you were
multi-millionaire?
getting started in the first episode.
Guess what?
My apologies.
I will tell you. That's the thing about me. I don't have anything to hide because if I lie, what the fuck is that gonna do? I have sold zero homes. What does that mean? That means I haven't had a listing. I haven't had well, no, I can't say that. I'm actually working with buyers right now, and shout out to them if you watch this. But I'm not gonna lie about what I have going on. Just because I'm with a prominent brokerage and I get exposure and I get opportunities, that doesn't mean that I'm just this multi fucking millionaire. No, I'm not that. I'm gonna be real and let you know I'm building a business from the ground up, somewhere that I've never lived before, somewhere where I have zero connections. So it's a definite challenge. But what's so funny, not to give anything away, I have been blessed with a very good opportunity that my real estate business is about to grow in ways that I never thought that it would grow. And I'm so thankful to God for hearing me when I was crying out on my knees, begging God just for an opportunity. And my first year in real estate, I made sure that I immersed myself in the education so that when I am dealing with my clients, I'm not sitting out here looking like I'm a damn dumbass, like I don't know what I'm talking about. And that's why I said it's so much that people don't understand about real estate, but that's why I let people talk about me. Because in the end, when you see me winning, I'm not going to be shitting on anybody. Going to have the same humble heart that I have right now because I'm so thankful to God for the opportunities that He has blessed me with. Seriously.
Okay. Now see, when I asked you that, I didn't want you to think that that was a dig.
It's not a dig, but do you understand how people think that that's a dig? We know that that's not a dig. But when people ask you in a social setting, how many houses have you sold? What do you get from that? It's like you're trying to, how do you make yourself feel better by doing that? Because I could have turned to you and said, how many seasons of Drag Race have you tried out for and they didn't pick you? But that would have been nasty. And that's not my heart. And I say that now to show you there's a possibility of things that I could have said. But that's what I'm like. I'm not trying to shake and jive anybody on their journey. I feel like the reason why people come for me is because they know that I show up into a room and the attention comes to Devin. I don't even ask for it. Regardless if y'all believe it or not, I'm a very shy person. Like I really don't like the whole this and that. So it's just like I let people talk about me because in the end, you're gonna be wishing that you didn't say anything about me to be on.
Okay. I hear you.
You'll be able to see me soon. That's why I say let them hear, but you'll be able to see me soon, real soon.
I hear that. I wanted to kind of get educated, or at least have the viewers be a little educated on like what the process is about, like,
Buying a
being
home.
a realist. Yeah, like how do you go through that? Like I know you show people houses, but I don't want people to think, or I don't want you to think that people just think like, oh, I'm just showing a house and just trying to sell to them, and then just it's kind of like car salesman, but it's with something
Yeah, but
different.
it's different. Like real estate is based on connections, and that's something that I had to learn. Like that first year, like it's really about who the fuck you know. You know, your network. You've got to build out that network to where you're not searching for business. Business is coming to you. So the process of buying a home is actually a fairly simple process. The only thing is that the misconception on certain things that occurred throughout the transaction make people feel like they're not ready to buy a home. Like, for example, in the state of Florida, there are so many first time home buyer programs, as well as programs for vets, as well as programs for like different organizations that people qualify. They just don't know that they qualify for those programs. So, I think that it's important to have like a good trusted realtor that you can know that they have that knowledge of the market, they have that knowledge of marketing, they have that knowledge of, those programs that you can take advantage of because it's kind of meant to scare people. If you think about it, we as African Americans, think about the numbers. Do a lot of African Americans own homes in the way that maybe another race owns homes? No, and those are statistics that actually show that that's true. So I think that people have to get out of the notion of thinking that buying a home is such a hard and tedious process. It is a long process. They are going to get in your business, and make sure that you have the coins to back up your purchase. But then at the end of the day, it's a rewarding process, and nothing brings me joy than helping people and just the people that I'm working with now, for example. It's just such a really good feeling to know that people are putting their trust in you to help them with like a pivotal step in their life. So it's not a hard process, guys. Like it's really not a hard process. It just really depends on who you have as your trusted advisor, the knowledge that you have going into it. But what I will say is people who are wanting to purchase right now, pay attention to the rates that the feds have right now. As rates continue to drop, like then you start getting into the notion of, okay, this isn't time to purchase. I'm never going to tell anybody that it's not the time to purchase because it's really solely dependent on their funds. So I will say, just coming from me, that people just need to do their research before they go into the process and not expect it to be something so easy because there are going to be things naturally that go wrong with the process, but you've just got to trust who it is that you've appointed to be your realtor or whatever. Like you've just got to have that trust in them because we're not going to guide you through a transaction and not have your best interest at heart. We are sworn ethically by a code of conduct that we have to uphold. And if we don't uphold that, then what's the sense of us having our license? It can be taken from us.
I'll call you.
They call me, seriously.
Oh my god. Okay. This has been great. I
It
have you past the
is.
time I was supposed to have you. Oh my god.
I appreciate you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you too. I've just like a couple more questions. They're quick. How did you think this interview went?
I think that this is a really good interview. I appreciate you for having me on. I appreciate your time. I was a little nervous at first, but I've loosened up. So I thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate you.
Okay, I appreciate you. And one last question. I've been bitching about the All Stars for the past 2 years now.
Okay.
We got all these shows, Gemini Films. What's that other network? Set It Off, On the Way Up, and then we got
You're gonna think
Chasing
I'm crazy.
Atlanta.
I don't watch all of those other ones. I'm so sorry. I really don't.
Oh no, you don't have to, but it's just like say if you would have to be on a show with like 15 different people from all them different shows, like an all star. So would you be doing it if you was to represent Orlando? Like, hey Devin, we want you to come on this show of All Star web series. Would you do it?
If the bag, right?
Um,
If the bag is right, I'll consider it. But like I said, my most important thing is making sure that my family, my partner, my daughter know that they're good. Outside of that, if they're taken care of, maybe we open the door to some other opportunities. But that's my main priority. I just want my family to be happy and know that they're taken care
oh, finally, you got sense.
of. I'm
Child.
not gonna flip any tables this evening.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming up here. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed speaking with you. I got 6 other cast members to go if I can get them up here.
No, definitely. I will spread the word because my main thing is we want to see your platform grow as well because we know that we have certain platforms that are prominent. And that's why it was important for me to come and speak with you because regardless, if you get 100 views, 200 views, or whatever, that means that you're growing. So, like I said, I'm super appreciative that you've invited me to be here. All we want to do is continue to see you grow as well.
Same goes to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll make sure to follow you.
Yes,
Where
I
can
will
we follow
follow you
you?
right now. I will follow you right now.
I'm
But
using my
look,
phone, so I have to unfollow. I have to unfollow. I have to follow you back after I get off here.
well, tell everybody, look, make sure that you tune in to Chasing Orlando. We have, I don't want to tell you how many episodes left, but basically, we've got a new episode that's literally about to premiere in the next like 5 minutes. So please make sure that you tune in, support
Oh,
us,
look, we
follow us
finished
on
right on
Instagram.
time.
You know, support our businesses. We love you guys. And like I said, thank you so much for having me on. I greatly appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Have a great night, okay?
You too.
Thank you, babe. Bye bye.
Bye.